Good evening, everyone. My name is Benjamin, and today we're going to be doing a quick little review of the House from the most recent House election. Sorry, I decided to let Kai, my key cat, sneak into the room today. He thinks he's sneaky when I actually just let him in. And speaking of, a like, comment, and subscription would really help for the channel. Of course, do it for the key cat. And thank you to my patron. I will. So let's take a look at what changed. By the way, I'm including New York 22nd, this district here, and Iowa 2nd. As both states have certified all their election results, and I don't really see a challenge in court going through, considering that's considering that they've been certified there. So personally, I consider those races called. In New England, Republicans didn't gain a single seat. By the way, New England refers to Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. I think in the future, there's definitely opportunity in New Hampshire and Maine. Maybe occasionally in a strong midterm year, one of the other three states as well. Probably not Rhode Island anytime soon. Definitely not Vermont. But Connecticut and Massachusetts in a strong midterm year for Republicans could absolutely flip. Then we go to New Jersey, another state where it's almost... I honestly think the Republican Party's kind of hit rock bottom in New Jersey. And really, they just need to revamp their strategy. Similar situations going in New York. We'll see how that goes moving forward, but you can definitely see as we move into this next group of states, we're going to go with the industrial Midwest and the Rust Belt. You'll see where the Republicans have really held on or gained. And really, they're only holding on to one district from a Collier County. And that's here, the Pennsylvania 1st. The rest of Republicans from the state, at least in Congress, no, don't sit up there. Down here. Get down. There you go. Good boy. The rest of their strength is from the rural T, Pennsylvania, as it's sometimes called. By the way, this is Scranton area. And from what I understand, they're kind of gaining in the Pittsburgh area, Allegheny County, and the Pittsburgh suburbs. But, yeah. Maryland is another place where the Republican Party has kind of hit rock bottom. Delaware, too, I guess. But then again, Maryland is obsessively gerrymandered, just to show you how horrible this is. I'm going to... Yeah, how is that district excusable? I mean, I've done some horrible things, and maybe I'll show off some of them, but there's no way any of these districts are reasonable. And that's the thing. The Democrats in Maryland don't have to have the state gerrymandered that heavily. We come down to Virginia. The Republicans definitely had two flip opportunities here. And that's the 2nd and the 7th. Nick Freitas very narrowly lost the 7th. And I think the 2nd is just Virginia Beach is no longer a Republican stronghold. And that was the reason why that district was historically competitive. And I think the problem with this is it has just enough of Albemarle County, so as well as Charlottesville, that the 7th is just not really feasible for Republicans right now. That said, I do think Virginia, with its new fair district law, is going to be interesting moving forward, and certainly is going to be a place where, and that was a state constitutional amendment. Basically, it's a law that says that districts can't be gerrymandered. It's kind of like the law down in Florida. Doesn't require computer, and it's actually citizen slash government design. Basically, 4 members from each party, or more accurately, 4 members from the top 2 parties in the Virginia, State Assembly, 2 from the House of Delegates for each party, and 2 of the top 2, and 2 from the state Senate for each party, as well as, or is it for 8 total, right? And then 8 citizens of the Commonwealth get to draw the districts. Please put me on that board. I can do a very good job. I promise I won't gerrymander it. I'm going to follow natural and geographic boundaries as well as any city or county boundaries if possible. North Carolina, the Republican Party did extremely well, and I think part of that's just because the Democrats are in North Carolina are concentrated in Charlotte, the Raleigh, Winston, Salem. This is the Raleigh area, though, and this is Winston-Salem, Greensboro. Democrats actually have done reasonably well in Georgia, both at the presidential level and maybe the Senate level. But I think they flipped this one district in the Atlanta metro area. Florida was kind of a wipeout for the Democrats. They lost 2 districts that they really were expecting to win. One of them in Miami proper. And then in the rest of the South, kind of what you would expect. Texas was a big disappointment for the Democrats from what I understand, and certainly from looking at the map. In the Houston area, they didn't flip a single district. They didn't flip any of the districts around Austin or San Antonio. None in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and their big Texas prize was flipping Will Hurd's old district, the 23rd. That didn't happen. And I think most people expected that one to flip. New Mexico, the second flipped. I think Republicans were a little disappointed they didn't at least flip the second. No, you were getting down. Which was really the only competitive district from what I understand. And then in California, the Republicans actually flipped 1 or 2 districts and held on to the one they won in the special election earlier this year. Oklahoma, Republicans flipped, of course, the 5th. And in Utah, Burgess Owens flipped the 4th to the Republicans. Colin Peterson, the longtime incumbent Democrat from Minnesota, finally lost his re-election campaign. And then no seats flipped in Wisconsin. Other than that, the map stayed relatively static. It's just the Democrats in competitive races got absolutely wiped off the board. And it's going to be interesting to see what the new House map looks like. And one of the things I expect is that in a few Republican states, it's going to get really bad in terms of how well they're able to gerrymander. I will say this, the Republicans are really good at gerrymandering. Though they've been a little bit less good about future-proofing their House maps. Virginia is a good example of this. That was drawn in 2010 to preserve Republican majorities in at both the state level as well as the federal level, and that is gone. It did take until 2018 and 2019 for that to happen, but it changed. North Carolina, that map was illegal for a lot of reasons. The original one, um, but yeah. Anyway, that's gonna end the discussion here. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see y'all next time. Take it easy. Have a very nice evening, and I'll see y'all tomorrow later in the evening when I decide to live stream. Good night.